Hello and welcome to day 3, breathe and stretch. So a nice 20-minute practice to get you in sync with your breath, body movement, and just move into some nice deep stretches. So this is a great practice to help us to relax and release any tension in our bodies, just to get those nice deep stretches that we often need. We spend so much time with our shoulders rounded forward, so we'll do some nice big stretches to open up those shoulders and open up the hips and just get some nice deep stretches in. So let's get started. So finding a comfortable position seated, just have you sit in the easy seated pose. Roll your shoulders back, away from the ears, relax those shoulders. Crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. And I invite you now to just start to close the eyes or to find a gentle gaze down to the floor if that's what's in your practice. And as we begin here, we'll just start by turning inward as we always do, just to transition ourselves into our practice. And so we begin to bring our awareness inside of us. Start by noticing any feelings or sensations in our body. And this can show up as just like a little itch or a twinge or a warm sensation or cold or any sort of feeling that shows up. And what happens when we do this is we bring ourselves deeper into the present moment. We notice things as they arise. And so just noticing every little thing, every little sensation. If you find your mind drifting, it's totally normal. Just bring yourself back to the present moment just by bringing that body awareness back in. And now starting to notice the breath without controlling the breath, just noticing the breath, noticing how it feels as it moves in and out of your body. And now we'll start to deepen that breath, starting to sort of come into control of our breath. And so we build that breath, and we'll use that breath later on to help us stretch. And so we invite a deeper breath in, inhaling through the nose, filling the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And then on the exhale, the belly falls and softens, the ribs fall, the chest falls, and the breath leaves the nose. And so we find a nice balance in our breath here. And I like to find a nice rhythm to the breath. So nice, gentle, slow, and controlled inhales, met by a nice, gentle, slow, and controlled exhale. And just make sure that belly's filling the bottom of the inhale, and the belly softens at the top of the exhale. And so we find that nice, deep balance. And as we deepen our breath, we invite in more oxygen to be distributed to all the tissues in our body. These nice deep breaths also warm us up from the inside out. And they help us to find a little more space in our stretches. So we're able to deepen our stretches as we warm our bodies from the inside. And if at any time you lose that balanced breath throughout our practice, it's okay. Just remind yourself, come back to the breath. Return to your breath. Just like in life, when things are difficult, we can just remind ourselves to return to our breath. Come home to our breath. Our beautiful breath, that one consistent thing we have from the moment we're born all the way through our life till the end of our lives. That same breath carries us through beautiful times, difficult times. I want you to take a moment here with this nice deep balanced breath, eyes closed or gentle gaze down, just to bring in a deep sense of gratitude for this breath within us. This breath which we can use to power us throughout our movements and our practice. This breath we can return to when we need to find that balance or grounding in our day. So a deep sense of gratitude comes in. We invite that in. Even just a simple thank you for my breath. Thank you for the awareness of my breath. So we often don't really think about our breath and the importance of it. Just taking a moment to be grateful. And then when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes. We're going to keep that nice, deep, balanced breath throughout our practice. And as you may notice, Oliver has joined me here today on the mat. And he does that sometimes. He loves doing yoga. And so on our inhale, we're going to circle our arms up, bring them overhead to connect. And then on our exhale, bringing them back down. So on the exhale, the bottom of the exhale there, the fingers touch the mat. We inhale, bringing those arms, circling them back up to reach overhead. And then on the exhale, slowly releasing those hands back down. One more time, inhale, slowly drawing those hands up. And exhale, slowly bringing them down. On the inhale, the right hand's gonna come up overhead. We can settle into the left hand, so pressing the left palm into the mat, that right hand reaches up and overhead. Take a couple of breaths here, get a nice stretch out of that side body there. Inhale, we reach back tall, and then exhale, just let that right hand come all the way down to the mat. Now pressing into the right hand, into the mat. Inhale, the left arm comes up, reaching up and over for another nice side body stretch on the other side. Nice deep balanced breaths, and noticing what happens as we breathe deeply in our stretch. Exhale, releasing that left hand back down. Inhale, we're going to circle the arms up, and this time at the top, interlacing fingers, facing the palms of the hands towards the ceiling and reaching tall. Nice deep inhale here, And then exhale, bring those palms forward. You're going to press the palms away from you, and the upper back pushes back on the exhale. Inhale, we open up, gazing up. And exhale, we press the palms and the upper back away from each other. Inhale, opening up, gaze up. And exhale again, pressing the palms away from the upper back. Inhale, coming back up to gaze up. Exhale, releasing those hands down to your knees. You can take a nice deep inhale, open the heart. And exhale, gazing to the knees. Pushing the upper back away. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, press the upper back away. Inhale, gazing up. Exhale, press the upper back away. And then inhale, come back to neutral. Now we're going to straighten our legs. Stretch your feet out in front of you. On the inhale, we're going to circle the arms up overhead. And on the exhale, we're going to draw the right hip to the left, the right heel to the left hip. And then exhale, we're going to twist. So right hand comes behind, the left elbow to the right knee, palm up. We gaze back over that right shoulder to come into a nice twist here. Inhale, crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling. And exhale, we sink a little deeper, we twist a little deeper, open that right shoulder up. Nice deep balanced breaths here. As we breathe here, notice the stretch and the twist throughout the body. Notice the sensation of the stretch in your neck, the twisting of your spine. Next, inhale, we come back to center, reach tall. And then exhale, we're going to drop that right knee down a little closer to the left leg, and exhale, fold forward, just coming into where you feel comfortable. So just so you'll feel a subtle stretch, nothing too deep. Let the palms of the hands fall down. And the heart leads first. So we let the heart fall and melt forward. We keep always the head and neck nice and straight and neutral. Nice deep balanced breaths here, noticing as we breathe. If on the exhale, we can sink a little deeper here. Next, inhale, walking those hands in. Exhale, we'll send that right leg out to meet the left. And then we're going to bring the left heel over, cross it over so it lands just on the outside of the right hip. And in this posture, you can always draw the right toes in towards you, and you'll feel a little extra pull on the back of the legs, a little strengthening in the legs. Now we'll inhale to reach tall. On the exhale, that right elbow is going to land on the left knee, palm facing up, facing to the side rather. And then that left hand's going to reach back. We'll gaze over the left shoulder. On the inhales, reaching the crown of the head taller. On the exhale, we twist a little deeper. Just turning deeply inward now, noticing where you feel twisting or pulling, not ever stretching too deeply, just doing what feels right to you. And know that if you need to modify anything, if you need to shift a little bit to create a little extra space, that's always available to you. Nice deep inhales and exhales here. Next, inhale, we come back to center, reach those hands tall. Let that left leg fall down just like we did on the other side. Reaching tall, and then exhale. Fold it all forward. And sometimes this can feel a little uncomfortable on one side or the other. Always know, as I always say, you can adjust. So just maybe we release that left leg a little bit. Just finding what feels right to you, but we'll kind of walk those hands forward, place them down, relax everything down, let everything melt forward. The heart falls first and the head stays in a neutral posture. And just noticing how the breath allows you to stretch a little deeper. How even though we're not moving a lot, we are warmed up already. That breath is so powerful to get us warmed up from the inside out. Settling in here, a nice deep stretch. And here with this kind of a stretch, we stretch quite a few parts in the body. In this particular stretch, I feel it in the outside of the right hip, in the back of my right leg, on the outside of the left hip, the low back, even a little bit in my upper back. Next, inhale, we'll slowly walk those hands back in. And then we're going to release the left leg out forward here. Now we're just going to circle out those ankles. Just give your ankles a nice circle. Maybe you want to roll the shoulders too. And we're going to bend the knees. The feet will be about hips distance apart. You can bring the hands back just behind the hips, palms down. And just start to windshield wiper the hips from side to side. Movement and breath. Just getting some nice movement here after that nice deep stretch. And if you like these nice deep stretches, yin yoga is an excellent way to do nice deep stretches where we get into a posture like that and we hold it for a few minutes. And when we do that, we allow our connective tissue to release. So it's very powerful practice if you're ever interested in trying it. There's plenty of yin classes available. And so we'll walk those hands back in. And we're just going to turn ourselves so we come into a tabletop pose here. So hands are stacked with wrists, elbows and shoulders over top. Palms of the hands are open, nice and wide. They're pressing into the mat. Fingers are spread. Knees are about hips distance apart. Knees and hips are stacked. And then we'll inhale, open the heart. So moving through our cat-cow, point those hips towards the sky. Exhale, gazing to the knees and press the upper back away. Inhale, gazing up, open the heart. Exhale, press that upper back away. Inhale, opens the heart. Exhale, pressing the upper back away. Coming back to our neutral spine here. We're going to inhale to reach the right hand up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And on our exhale, we're going to bring that right hand through and land down on that right cheek. Just getting a nice stretch on the outside of that right shoulder. We also get a nice stretch in the low back. And just breathing here, finding your breath, coming back to your breath. Nice deep balanced inhales and exhales. Next inhale, we're gonna bring that right hand all the way back up to reach for the ceiling. And exhale, let that right hand land back down on the mat. Inhale, we'll reach the left hand up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, just bring that left hand all the way through. And so we'll land on that left cheek. Nice, deep and balanced breaths here. If you need to adjust, feel free to do so. You want to feel a nice stretch on the outside of that left shoulder. Next, inhale, pressing into that right hand. We lift that left arm all the way up to reach for the sky. Exhale, release the left hand down. Now we're going to come all the way up. So turn those toes. Inhale, coming up to downward facing dog. Just take a moment here and bend one knee at a time so we get some movement in the hips and the shoulders. We're going to do a nice hip opener here. So in downward dog, we'll inhale, reach the right leg up towards the sky. Point those toes, open up if you can. If it's in your practice, you can bring that right heel towards the left outer hip and open up. Hold there for a nice breath. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bring that right knee all the way up in between the hands. And so we're going to come into a sort of a lazy sort of a pigeon here. So the left knee is bent, the right knee is bent. So you can kind of see how I am here, and you, as always, adjust yourself. If it doesn't feel right, just shift and move. So we come up on the fingertips. Inhale, reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we lower slowly. And just again, lowering with the heart. So the heart comes down. We come to where we feel a nice stretch that feels right to us. And just allow your tissue to melt in here. Allow everything to relax. If you need to adjust that right foot, if you need to open it up a little more, you can, or bring it a little closer. Just do what feels right to you. You know your body best. On your next inhale, walk those hands in. Get ready by turning the left toes, pressing into the hands, and reach the right leg all the way up towards the ceiling before we exhale and release it down to meet the left on the mat. Pressing into that down dog. If you want to take a couple of breaths to bend one knee at a time. We'll inhale to reach the left foot all the way up and back. Point those toes. If it's in your practice, you can open up the hip and bring the left heel towards the outside of the right hip. A nice deep stretch here. Nice deep inhale here, and then exhale, draw that left knee up in between the hands. We're gonna land down there and bend that right knee. So a lazy pigeon is what I like to call it. And there's nothing lazy about it because you do feel quite a stretch. So just finding what feels right to you. And I know on me, this right hip's a lot tighter to open up. So I do have to adjust it a little bit. Coming up on the fingertips, reach the crown of the head up on the inhale. And as we exhale, we slowly walk those hands down to wherever feels right to you. And remember, props are always useful. So if you feel like you need to land on a pillow or a bolster, you can always feel free to do that. If you feel like settling right in and letting it all melt down, you can bring your forehead all the way down to the mat if that feels right to you. You can keep the head neutral, whatever feels right to you. Just listening to the inner wisdom within us. Finding some nice deep breaths here. On your next inhale, walking those hands back in, we'll prepare to come back to downward dog. So get that right foot ready, turn those toes, press into the hands and rise back up, reaching the left foot up to the sky first, and then allow it to fall on the mat. We'll take a nice deep inhale, reach the hips tall, exhale, drop the knees. And if it's in your practice, we'll rise all the way up to standing on our knees here. Inhale, circling the arms up. And then exhale, we'll bring them back behind our back. Open the heart, interlace the fingers if it's in your practice. If not, you can just drop those hands down. We just want to really open the heart here. Nice, deep and balanced breaths. And if it doesn't feel right to be on your knees, you can drop down. You can come to seated, whatever feels right. Just get that heart opened up. Next inhale, we'll circle the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer and come all the way down to seated. From my light to yours, I want to thank you for practicing with me today and hope you can enjoy the rest of this 21-day yoga challenge. Namaste.